Nora,
Yeah,
turn your original sound off.
yeah, I know.
We get hot, here we go, here we go. You already know. Gotta keep it funky. Yeah! Somebody say, play that funky music. 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 Gotta play that funky music. Play that funky music.
What's up, everybody? Turn the names.
Steven, what are we listening?
This is the Hot 8 Brass Band, keeping it funky. Oh, hey! Started right now. Hey, everybody. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Tuba Bass Tuesdays. Good to see you, Mike. Good to see you. Cordelia, where are you calling in from?
Calling in from Humboldt County, Arcata, or
Awesome.
California.
Awesome. Fantastic. Good to see you, Dave. Good to see you, Genevieve. What's up? What's up? Hey, Dylan. Hey, Brendan. Everybody, welcome to Tuba Bass Tuesdays. Let me get my spiel started. Welcome to Tuba Bass Tuesdays, everybody. Today's topic for Tuba Bass Tuesday is ears. Tuba Bass Tuesday is sponsored by the Tuba Bass Studio. If you want to groove like a bass player, get off the page and play by ear. If you want to gig more and have more fun and make clear, focused progress in your playing, go to tubabass.com/studio and check out what we are doing down there. Got some more people coming in. Give me a second. All right, there we go. So today we're going to be talking about ears. We're going to be talking about using your ears to identify common chord progressions. So, there are a ton of different, types of chord progressions, things that you can, like common chord progressions you'll hear in songs all the time. And then there are a bunch that are more common than others. So the quicker you get at recognizing certain chord progressions, the easier it's going to be for you to learn stuff by ear. So real quick, I'm going to run us through a couple chord progressions, and then we're going to talk about what they might be, and we shall see how that goes. So, first chord progression. Oh wait, we still got some more people coming in. Actually, before we get started, is there anyone here who's it's their first Tuba Bass Tuesday and they want to just kind of introduce themselves and tell us where they're from?
Oh, sorry. I'm still getting logged on here.
Sorry, we got a bunch. I don't want to jump into it too soon. Still a bunch of people kind of getting in. But here, let's just all right, we'll get started and then we'll talk later. So, first chord progression. I'm gonna play it on guitar. You are going to try and figure out what the chord progression is. And I'll say this one's it's a less common chord progression, but it's easy to hear. So we're gonna start with this one. Anybody who thinks that they can name what that progression is? Dave says 1, 2, 4, 5. Dave, you are close. You are close.
Is the second chord like an inverted sixth over a 2?
Nope. No, you're overcomplicating it.
Is that a 1, 2, 3, 4?
That's a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just walking up the scale. Can anybody name any songs that have a 1, 2, 3, 4 progression in them? Like I said, it's a less common one, but yeah, there's a couple. What Bob Dylan? Then he goes to 5, or 6. Didn't you? Oh, and this guitar is kind of out of tune. Anyway, another one. What's the? Oh, if anybody hasn't checked out, Rick Beato just dropped the interview with Billy Joel today. It's real good. Check it out. Uptown girl, she's been living in her light and bread world, and nothing. Na, 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 na. Another one. Sometimes in our lives, then it goes back down. We all have shame. Then it goes back up. We all have. Then it goes to 5. Sorrow. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me pull that up. Boom. 1, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4. That's the first one. Second one. Second one. Here we go. Hold on. Let me figure out. Because my air conditioner's blowing right on the guitar.
Steve, can I ask you a quick question?
What's up?
Okay, so I heard like the da 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 da, like I heard those notes, and I was gonna guess 1, 2, 3, 4, but I was like, I've never heard of a 1, 2, 3, 4 progression. So like, is that a legitimate way to like hear? I mean, maybe you'll like talk about this later, but I was like, I'm just hearing the bass notes. Is that a legitimate way to like put my brain in the right place?
Absolutely. It's
Okay,
that's
cool.
like the first way is just like follow the root motion. You know. You
Okay,
sing it,
and I was
then
like
you
1,
nail
2,
it.
3, 4, but it's
Yeah.
not that common, is it? You said it's not.
Yeah, it's not that common. It's not that
Okay.
common. Well, like I said, it's not that common, but I just wanted to start with it because it's kind of easier to hear.
It totally was. Okay, awesome. I'm ready for the next one.
All
And
right.
I was
Here's one
kind
that's
of
super duper.
I kind of thought it was a trap because I've listened to just the
A
bass
trap.
note before, and then it's been like an inversion over a bass
Oh.
note. So
Yep.
that's why I was like, maybe it's a 6th over a 2.
Yep. Oh yeah, Brandon said Friday I'm in love. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, The Cure. Okay, cool. Next song. Next progression. This one's longer, but you gotta know it. What? All right, what do we got?
Frustration because I knew where you were going with that, and I'm like, I know that like the progression you were going. Because I was like, all right, I know which way we're gonna go for the bum bum. I was like, I don't even know these freaking intervals. I was like, I can hear it.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew it was a
12-bar blues, baby.
Yeah, okay.
Was it 12 bar blues? Because that like
Oh
the
yeah, I was like, that's
1
blues.
1
I was
1
like, blues or
1
boogie.
5 4 1 4 5 1. I might have messed it up.
This is a 12-bar blues.
Yay! I've done that one
Yay!
before.
Although I will say I put a 4 here. I did 1 4 1 1 4 4 1 1 5 4 1 1.
Oh,
Either way,
sneaky.
that's a that once you get into blueses, there's all sorts of substitutions to everybody do it. But yeah. Okay, who can name a blues?
Joe Avery.
Hey, Joe Avery. Nobody else?
I was gonna say Joe Avery. That's it. Oh boy.
I mean, the blues is so common. It's like there. It's almost hard to like think of. I mean, honestly, yeah, like the entire catalog of like B.B. King, Albert King, Muddy Waters, all that kind of stuff. So much of the New Orleans and jazz tradition are blueses. Like it's that type of thing where like you got to be able to recognize that chord progression, and it's honestly one of the best ways to start learning how to solo. So there's the blues. What happened to my PowerPoint? And let's keep going. Wait, what? Number 4. Oh, okay. Here's one. Don't put it in the chat. Don't. All right, raise your hand if you know that one. Chris, did you raise it? Was that a raise? Oh no, Chris is just putting up a cigarette. Smoke them if you got them. Anybody? Any guesses? Any guesses? You can write it in the chat now if you got, if you know. If you
I
can't
just
speak.
hear Jack Johnson.
It does sound, yeah.
It
Jack
sounds
Johnson
like
uses
banana
this.
pancakes.
Yeah. Anybody? Anybody? That is. How do I change this thing? A 2-5-1. 2-5-1 is the most common chord progression in jazz. If you start getting into, if you start getting into jazz, Autumn Leaves is a big one. People will superimpose 2-5-1s in that blues that we just went to. Instead of making that instead of going 5-5-5-5-5-4-4-4-4-1, they'll change that to 2-2-2-2-5-5-5-5-1 at the end of that blues. You've heard about 2-5-1, but didn't catch it by ear. Another song. What's that old Maroon 5 song? Sunday Morning. Sunday morning, rain is calling. It's just 2-5-1 the whole song. Shed some color, share some skin. I feel like there's so many Jack Johnson tunes that are just 2-5-1 over and over again. You're right, Samuel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then our next progression. Okay, cool. Here. Let's do an A flat. Sure. God, this guitar is getting worse. Sorry. Anybody got any guesses? So, one of the easy ways to learn to start to hear this stuff is just to try and sing the root motion underneath it. So, any other guesses? Brendan guessed 1-5-3-4. Close. That is close.
3-5-2.
1-4-6-5. Close. We're getting. Oh, we're circling around it. We're circling. 1-5-6-4. Yeah. There we go. 1-5-6-4. Yeah. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. What is it? Anyway,
And then
any other 1-5-6-4 songs that people can think
Take
of?
On Me.
Take on Me is a 1-5-6-4. Yep. Take on me. Take on me. What else? Any others? I'm trying to think of one.
Is that Country Road as well?
Country roads take me home
No.
to the place where I belong, West Virginia. Yeah, that's man. You got to know country
I think
roads.
we're in my wheelhouse. I think this might be my progression.
Oh wait, speaking of wheelhouse, is that rock me mama like a
Yes.
wagon wheel, rock me mama like the way you feel. There you go. There you go. So, why, and this is open to anybody, why are common chord progressions useful? What do you think we can get out of studying this stuff as tuba players?
I have an answer because you could be on a gig and they could be like, okay, we're playing this piece, and sometimes they give you the chords and sometimes they're just like do it based on your ear, and just being familiar with what some common progressions are and which songs might use them, I think could be helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They also make a solid foundation for those like, keeping everything locked down and letting those that really like can take things for a run or like do some more like technical playing, if you will, I guess. Like, it's like by keeping that like foundation steady or letting the rest of the group like do their thing and like go where they want to go. As long as you're laying the sidewalk down, you give them a steady sidewalk and they can keep on strutting.
Put the sidewalk down, they can keep on strutting. I like that.
That's some good verbiage.
That's some good verbiage.
Thanks.
That sounds like a blues. What else? How else can this help us as tuba players, tuba bass players?
Stephen, I would love to, because for those who don't know, Stephen has been in an array of different types of groups. Like he started in rock bands playing bass and guitar, and then over to church bands, and then eventually making his way on trombone into different gospel groups, and now brass bands. I would love to hear from your perspective how you came to learn common chord progressions through all the different types of groups you were in. Like, was it learning songs? Was it focusing on the chord progressions? Like, what would you have to say was your origin to learning common chord progressions?
Yeah, it's really like because I was gonna say, before you asked that like one of the things is like it just really speeds up the whole process of learning by ear. If you are if you're if you know these, as you start learning, so and then kind of like to answer your question, Nora, I came at it from like the reverse thing where it's like I didn't focus on, oh, I want to learn 1625 or 251. I learned a ton of tunes. And by learning tunes, I was like, oh, that's just another 145. Oh, that's just another 1415. Oh, okay. And then you just start to get it faster. But it's the process of when you learn songs, you start to see these similarities, over and over again. And so it just, and it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing, like really, like sure, you can if you get 1625 in your ear, even just by playing it on the piano, then when you are listening to a song, you're like, oh, that bridge is a 1625. Oh, cool, nailed it. You know.
And would you say it's helpful learning different chord progressions in different keys?
Yeah. So like that's the other thing is that like yeah, Nora's kind of leading the questions on, but like yeah, it's like once you get so yeah, like learning common chord progressions and being able to like think of your chords in numbers and all of that kind of stuff, it truly just opens up the whole transposing on the spot thing. The singer requesting one, the random singer that comes up to the bandstand and requests a song and then goes, "Oh, it's just a blues in E flat." and then they're like, oh, actually, can we take it up a half step? Boom, take it up a half step. You already know. You're just doing 1 4 1 1 4 4 1 1. You know. So yeah, it just makes you if you're if you're able to distill music down into like the smallest amount of information that you can to think about it, it just makes your whole time easier because you're just sort of like you have less to think about, you have less to remember. You're seeing that it's patterns, over and over and over again. And then when something unique comes along, it's like, oh, okay, this is something that I need to spend time on and figure out. Whereas like everything else, half the stuff is just taken care of because it's the same as the other stuff. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about just sort of like have you ever been like trying to learn songs and sort of just notice that like sometimes it just comes out quicker and then sometimes it's like, why can't I get my ears around this? So being able to just kind of like dive into these progressions and figure out what they are and just sort of like have them in your back pocket makes sense, makes it easy.
Well, if I can share something,
Yeah.
yeah. I used to play the trumpet, and when I was playing trumpet, I had some courses in improvisation, and it really helped me knowing the chords and knowing the harmonization in pieces. So it helped me playing an instrument that isn't the bass, but now it really helps me playing the bass instruments as well. So and because many band members they talk in 1 4 5 6 or whatever, and it really helps me. So if we really want to do some improvisation, the chord sequences they can really help me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like so much of this like when you want to get into improvising, like Brendan said, you know, just I mean so I went to jazz school. So much of jazz school was just people like learning licks over 2 5 1s, like figuring out better and cooler things to do over a 2 5 1 because just so much of jazz is like 2 5 1s and then like them like superimposing 2 5 1s there where there were no 2 5 1s and then like altering those 2 5 1s into like tritone substitutions or that kind of stuff. But it very much yeah, the more if you just spend time, like or a lot of times like the anybody who got into like the like Jamie Aebersold stuff back in the day, it's like so many of those records are just like, okay, we're just gonna loop 1 6 2 5 for 10 minutes and just like practice taking a solo over that loop. Or so many times in a song, like they'll do a whole song and then at the end they'll go to a vamp and the vamp is just yeah saying like 3 6 2 5 1 6 2 5 and they're just going doon 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 go doon and you're supposed to solo over it, as bass players we're supposed to just kind of like walk that and just like go over and over again, but they might just it literally like a lot of times it'll be in your ear, like a lot of I find myself on these gigs where I have the in-ears in and like the MD has the God mic and he's just going like, all right, 1 6 2 5 vamp, like 1 4 5, let's go, and say that kind of stuff. When you get into like if you get into deep church music, they're just shouting the changes at you in your ear and you got to go and play. That can be really fun and intense. But if you don't have this basis of chord progressions, it's really hard. And, it's also one of the easier ways to start thinking about chords in numbers in general. You know what I mean? Like learning the number system is, like when you go into studio sessions in Nashville, they like they'll give you that sheet, the Nashville number system sheet that just has the key and all the numbers. And that can be really confusing at first. One of the best ways to start that is just to start recognizing these common ones over and over again.
I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
love.
useful too. Like for instance, when there's a jam session we go to called Mona's, which is like the New York trad jazz jam session. And I know I often can't hear what people are saying to me in these loud rooms. So for instance, there'll be a song that comes up and I'm like, I don't know that song. And then the person goes, oh, it's a and I'm like, I have no idea. I don't want to ask him to repeat himself as to what the chord progression was. I'm too embarrassed. But then it'll come up and it'll be like a 6-2-5-1. And then I'm like, oh, that must be what he said. Like I kind of heard him say a six and a five. It must be a 6-2-5-1. So if you just like have those things kind of downloaded into your brain, sometimes in situations like that, you can't really hear what someone said, but then you just like you're like, oh, that must be it. It's just nice to be able to fill in those gaps sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, this is great. Like, truly, the floor is open. We start this with a topic so that everybody can, so that we can kind of talk. But honestly, do a base Tuesday about us helping y'all out. So if anybody wants to talk about anything, there's any sort of anything on your mind that we can help you out with. If there's any questions that you have, feel free. The floor is totally open. We're just gonna hang for the next half an hour and chat about tuba stuff. What's up? What's up, Cordelia?
So how does one get started on getting these basics down? Is it just recognizing them in songs and sort of seeing what comes up commonly and practicing that on one's own time, or like how do you build that repertoire, I guess?
Yeah. Um, and so like just for context, like what kind of stuff are you currently doing?
It's a mix of like it's a weird mix of like really easy pop music with very simple bass lines, and then they throw me into like some New Orleans style jazz, and I'm way out of my depth, and I don't know
Mhm.
what's going on because there's more than four notes, which is so much fun. I love playing those songs, but
Yeah.
man, I'm struggling right now.
So and so when you're saying so it's like the pop tunes are easy, the jazz tunes are a little difficult, and you're trying to figure out like how to get more into learning those things easier or what?
Or like, if how would if chords would be applicable to bring it back to the topic at hand, like is there I don't know, recommendations on what to do? Or I guess in general, I'm more curious on like how do I bridge that gap between playing pop songs with really simple bass lines to then moving to this more complex New Orleans jazz? Because I'm getting, I've been at this for like maybe 6 months, and the pop songs are starting to flow. Those aren't too terribly difficult,
Yep.
four or
Yep.
five notes, whatever. But I'm struggling to make that jump.
Yeah, I mean, like one first you just got to listen to the stuff. Like you
Mhm.
really like number one for all learning music is you got to deep dive into just listening. Find the musicians that you like and start just put the headphones on and absorb and absorb and absorb and absorb. And then as you get into that, like you will find players that you're like, ooh, I want some of that. And you learn it by ear, and you find songs that you're like, ooh, you know, either like I love that song and I want to learn it, and so I'm gonna learn it, and then like as I'm learning it, I'm just figuring out these chords and I'm figuring out what they are, and then you start to see that, or it's like, okay, I was on that gig and they all wanted to play this song and I couldn't do it, so now I have to go home and learn it, and that kind of stuff. And it's like the more um the more you explore on your own, the more you just kind of like develop your own taste as far as what do I like, what do the people around me like and appreciate, how do I want to sound and like move through the world as a tuba player, um, and then also, I would say, a big thing is like if you can get yourself into a chordal instrument, if you can get yourself on piano, if you can get yourself on guitar, that really helps as far as like being able to hear the harmony, being able to notice these patterns, especially like on guitar, because like it's super obvious on guitar because like the shapes all stay the same, and so like yeah, a 1 4 1 5 on guitar looks and feels exactly the same in every single key, because you're just moving your fingers around and the shapes stay
It's,
the same.
it's cheating.
It's totally cheating. It's 12 times harder on a tuba because there are 12
Oh
times
well.
more individual keys.
Oh well.
And so that's the whole thing is it's like, yeah, if you don't know your scales and arpeggios, start there too. But like, yeah, like learn a bunch of songs.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I hope that helps.
I have a question about how you cope with guitar players who want to play in a the E, the key,
The E.
which for me is an F sharp. Is it in English? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And I have to use my third valve again and again. I really hate it, but how do you cope with it?
Um, like, are you talking about like specifically of just like the third valve tiredness or?
So I'm used to well, when you start playing a brass instrument, you learn from for a B flat instrument in the C, which is for me it's easy. I can dream it, and well up to 6 chords, it's okay. But when if you have to go to the F sharp, I really detest it because then I have to really think about which valves I have to use. But
Yeah.
maybe the answer is too simple, and I don't want this answer. I have to practice my skills. No.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Brendan doesn't need any advice at all. He already knows. No, it's true. It is. It's because everybody's always like, "Oh, B flat and E flat, they're easy keys." They're not easy keys. You just play in them all the time.
Mhm.
And so you're familiar with it and your fingers just kind of go there and stuff. And so you got to just make the other keys easy by playing in them. Or you want to get good at F sharp, play songs in F and then go like this and modulate up a half step. And just do that on a bunch of songs. Do a gig where you're just I mean that it's crazy. That was actually, talk about like church stuff. My I went to school for trombone, but I was always playing bass in church growing up and stuff like that. And then uh in my like in my early 20s, I was playing in this like Baptist church in Southwest Philly where they really, I was playing bass and got it all together. And they just like wait, what was I oh yeah, but like every single song it was like this. That's what they like they would go, oh, and then we're doing it up, oh, and then we go, oh. Every single song, you would just like keep going up a half step and up a half step and up a half step. And it just sort of like got you like, okay, if you didn't get it right, if you didn't know how to process stuff like that, then you would just get totally lost. But like if you could figure it out, it just, man, yeah, that really got my like playing in the odd keys together quick for sure. Yeah. So yeah, practice, but also just exposure. If you can figure
Yeah,
out a way to expose yourself to the weird keys without, yeah, if you join a rock band, you'll play in E and G and D all the time. And
Mhm.
after 6 months, you'll be like, those keys are great.
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally too, just to add on to that quick, I found that like for instance, I got good at F sharp by practicing a bunch in F because F was so easy to me because you do it all the time. Then when you switch to F sharp, like it's similar scale degrees, just the accidentals are different. So I like if I try to like I got really good at B by focusing on B flat and then kind of practicing them next to each other.
Hmm.
So it's not as much of a jump going from one to usually a really hard key has something really easy next to it. So kind of practicing them together. I found that really helpful.
Very cool.
I just came back from a 5 day music festival where I played like with a kind of like a trad jazz group, and this was like my fourth year doing it, and I've never been like exposed to this sort of music before. It was always pretty new to me, and I just basically 1 and 5'd everything. But I've been doing private lessons this past year and like struggling with scales and arpeggios and just really, really hating it and like not being wanting to practice it because it was just boring. However, this past weekend, I walked a bass line for the first time and it just came out. And I don't know how I did it. Like trying to think about it, I was like, what exactly was I playing? But it just came out and it just kind of felt natural. And yeah, so now I'm like, okay, it's paying off. And now I feel motivated to work on my fucking scales.
So what are you gonna do? How are you gonna work on them?
I'm still just practicing. Like we've been doing the 2-5-1s quite a bit and arpeggiating the 2-5-1s, and I still feel like I need to like look at the music to do that. It's hard to think about it and do it naturally, but I want to get it to a point where it's just, it just comes out without thinking. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good job. And I mean, I think that's it just goes to show, like a lot of times the stuff you do in the practice room is frustrating. It feels like you're not making any progress. It feels like you're wasting your time. It feels like you can't focus and you just want to look at your phone or whatever, or just do anything other than like run these patterns. But then you get on a gig and you're like, oh, oh, I can do some stuff that I couldn't do before. Maybe this practicing thing actually works out, you know? So that's awesome. That's awesome that like you're finally like getting to see those like firsthand results. And like, yeah, that's where you start to get hooked on it, you know?
Yeah. And it was with like St. James and Saint or the Saints Go Marching In. So stuff I've played for like years that are pretty easy, but it just yeah, it just felt easy. When I stopped thinking about it, that was the thing. I had to stop thinking about the notes. I was just like, let's see what happens, and it just came out.
Yeah, no, and that's another reason to practice. It's because like you want to be able to get yourself to the point, you what do they say? Like you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your level of preparation, And so like you have to just like get it so in there that you just can't mess it up, or that it just comes out naturally. Just like that the fingers do what they've done thousands of times because you just do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what else is on people's minds today?
I had a random question. Um, just because I enjoy different hardware and like playing with different configs. Um, had a buddy bring to my attention there was a bullet mic for sale locally, like a nicer, older quality. And like having grown up with a bunch of blues musicians and like around harmonicas, I was like, ah, it's tempting for if I, it's like just on the side. But have you ever mic'd a Sousa with a bullet mic? You ever thought about that?
I haven't. I
Because
haven't, and I
I've
don't
been thinking
know.
about it.
Well, because is it one of those? Is it like the Shore Green bullet, like that one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. For
Figuring
those.
out how to do it's one thing, but I just wonder what that would do. Just I'm curious. It probably wouldn't be much different. It's the fact of the matter is it's meant to catch sound with the hands and the shape that it is. But I don't know. I couldn't find anything online of people ever having even attempted it. I was just like, just a random question.
Yeah, I want to look up. I've never heard of anybody doing that, but I'm like thinking about it, and I kind of want to just look up if we can find like like they give you like a graph of the pattern, because I feel like the whole thing with the bullet mic is it sounds like a radio, and so I feel like it actually has not that good like low end response. You know what I mean? Like because it has that, but I'm not. I don't want to. I'm trying to find the literally on. I don't know. Has anybody else does anybody know what Sam's talking about this like it's this Shure. Yeah, this is like it's like the most popular harmonica mic out there. These things. I mean, I don't want to tell you not to do it because if you want to do it, you should try it out. And like any sound can be funky. Um,
I
but
thought
if I
about
was gonna
playing.
buy a Shure mic, I would just buy an SM58 because that's like the standard, and it's $100. You know, do you have an SM58 or 57?
No,
Get one of those.
I do not.
Don't waste your time on this when like
I thought about it for fun.
the
Yet.
standard is like yeah, no, I don't want to, whatever. But like
Yeah,
yeah,
it
everybody
was.
everybody uses an SM58 and SM57 like
Penis
just because they're
Yaba.
at every venue and all that kind of stuff. Um, I would be interested to see what it sounds like, but I my gut tells me it's gonna sound tinny.
Probably. It's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I mean, how good of a deal is it?
Well, how much is it?
It's an antique one that's been rewired. It's for like 105. So it's like it's not a bad deal. It's here local. And like I'm in an area in Indiana where it's like there's plenty of like good luck finding the work with the with the right music repair shop. There's plenty of guys who are like have retired and are still doing their hobby projects, and you'll come across all sorts of rebuilt electrical equipment in this area. So it's
Is
from a
it?
source I've seen before.
I have a quick question. Is it really so? I don't play in like clubs super often, but like maybe a handful of times a year, and they always have an SM57 or 58 or whatever. So, is it really worth getting one myself when they always seem to have one?
If you yeah, no, it's I mean if you don't have to get one if you
Valid
don't
point.
want one because like yeah, that's the other reason why that's the other reason why it is the standard is because like tuba players go to venues and that's what they have. And so that's like what yeah, no, I think there's like a
No.
debate of like who was the first was it Matt Perrine or Kirk Joseph was the first one to throw an SM58 down the bell because I think I've heard them both say that they were. But it's like the yeah, if you want to get into it just depends on what you want to get into. Like if you want to get into like effects pedals and that kind of stuff, then yeah, you got to get your own mic. It's sort of like you want to control your signal chain, you want to do that. One of the reasons why I like having my own mainly is because I put Velcro on mine. And so all of my bells have Velcro in them, and I have about like five of these just floating around my world in different cases and bags and in my car, and I just know this is my rig. Like it's like but then a lot of times at like plenty of times I don't have mine and I just throw the mic down the bell and kind of like wrap the cables around the two like screws on the sousaphone and let it dangle and that's fine. Sometimes you hear it knocking around in there, but for the most part it does the job. But then you get into like mic placement where it's like when you throw it down the bell, it gets real tubby. When I like one of the things I like about my Velcro setup is it's kind of just like right on that edge where like the sousaphone goes, where the bell goes down there, and it's sort of right there. And I find that tone wise, it gives me a good compromise of like low bottom end, but still some of the horn bark. Whereas if you go down too far down the bell, you lose like the bark, the high end stuff. And then if you go too far out the bell, you lose the low end and it's all bark. Does that help or answer your question?
Yeah.
And Sam? Yeah, cool.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries.
I was following.
No, we're all helping and helpful. What else is on people's minds today? What's up, Mike?
I was just gonna say I don't know that I would throw that bullet mic down the bell.
Why not?
You might lose it.
Oh no, no, no. If I
Yeah.
got that, I would definitely go see a buddy of mine and we would solder something. Like we
Well,
would make something
the
custom.
other thing is that like that mic, I don't even think has a a way to clip it to a mic stand or anything. These have clips, right? Like an SM, other things have like mounting things, but I'm pretty sure that bullet mic is
They
purely
don't.
designed to be handheld, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Designed to be. Does it have to be?
yeah, sure.
There,
But
where there's a will,
also,
there's a way.
also though, looking at it, like it's got this little spring thing on it, so throwing it down there and letting it dangle might be fine. I don't know. Oh, but it
I
also
don't know.
has, that is the other interesting thing about this. All right, Samuel, if you buy this thing, you got to report back because it doesn't
Uh,
have XLR. The bullet mic
uh-huh.
is
That's
just
why
you
I was
plug it right
thinking
into an
about
amp.
it. I was like, this is because I was looking at the line or the whole layout. I was like, this is old school direct wire. I'm like,
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool.
I've thought about it. We're gonna see.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
because that mic is designed to be plugged into a guitar amp, and you're a harmonica player with a little guitar amp going for it. Um, so hey man, if you want to do some R&D, I'd love to hear your results.
I might look into it. I might have to at this point after now I've gotten curious.
Yeah.
I might have to look and see if it's still up for sale. Just while we're hanging out.
Question about amps or mics. This
Yeah.
weekend, we organized a festival for brass bands, and one of them, he had the sousaphone player. He had a bass amp with him and a 58 microphone. It really sounded big. It was great. But do you ever use the bass amplifiers yourself, or do you have any experience with it?
Yeah, I certainly do. I'd love to hear from anybody else who has experience with bass amps and what you think about them and feel them.
I do use a bass amp. It's not actually amazing or anything. I think it's a 12 inch, maybe 15-inch bass amp, and it was like $250 brand new. Like I wasn't breaking the bank for it, but it helps me significantly play 3 4 hour gigs and not being exhausted after the fact. And especially if I trim my mustache and my beard really well, then I don't get all the chafing and all that. Yeah, right. And that like the bass amp is a very invaluable tool that I use on almost every gig. And I normally pack it even if I know I'm not going to use it.
What amp do you have, Camden?
I'd say I can't remember. It's actually like a beginner amp that you just use. Like I bought from a local music store down the road. But you use the 1/4 inch like you said on the mic earlier. You plug it into that, and it's worked very well. We use a PA system with our group, it's just like a PV powered amp. It's like a 16 input amp, but I still use the bass amp over that most of the time, just because it gives me the sound that I'm looking for.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. 100% agree with Camden. And then I'll add that like, so there's a couple really amazing things about the bass amp. One, yeah, like it lets you just get through a 3 hour gig and super duper comfortably. You can play real quiet and just like turn the thing up. And what's also cool about playing quiet, like this is something I learned from like actually playing bass guitar. Like when I first started playing bass guitar, I was always like, I was so into it and I was like digging in and then my arm would be getting tired and all that. And then like I suddenly realized all of my favorite bass players were turning the amp up and playing super duper quiet and sensitive. And what's cool about that is that like when the amp is loud and you're playing sensitive, just like the difference between like a do 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 and boom boom boom, boom, it's like it doesn't take much to really raise the volume and to really, change the feel and the sound. Whereas like if you are, kind of already, even just like if we're not playing acoustic or if we're playing acoustic, then it's like you have to do so much extra work to make it get louder and softer and that. But if the amp is already at a certain loudness, then it's sensitive. You know, you can kind of get into that. The other thing I love about having a bass amp is I can control my tone. You know, like when I run the mic direct to the PA, it's up to the sound guy or girl what comes out of all the speakers. When I'm running directly into a bass amp, that bass amp has the low, it has the low mid, it has the high mid, it has the high, it might have like a scoop button, it might have a compressor built into it. You know, like a lot of the Ampeg amps have like a built-in compressor that's like super nice. Um, and it gives me this complete control over my tone before it gets out to anybody. And then usually the sound person will just plug the most bass amps have an XLR out on them, and so you do your own EQing and dialing in of the tone, and then you just get to send that like mixed tone to the sound person. um and then the other huge thing about having a bass amp, like kind of what we were saying about like 3 hour gigs and stuff, is that it's your monitor. You know, it's your guaranteed dedicated monitor for your thing. And it's right behind your butt, hitting you, really making you groove. Um, and then also, it's the monitor for the drummer. You know, if you are like the whole thing about like 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 you want, what am I trying to say? It feels really good if you're able to compete in the same sonic range as the bass drum and the drum set in general, right? So, us just playing an acoustic tuba, we're working hard, we're going for it. Unfortunately, the harder you push, sometimes the more high end in the sound you get. And so, like, you want to be able to play the relaxed stuff because it doesn't blare and you get to stay in that low end round tone. But you want to be able to match volumes with the drummer because it really makes the groove feel great on stage, not just in your in-ears, not just out there, but on stage. It makes like a little live groove unit that everybody can kind of dance to and everybody can kind of get into. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my spiel as to like why a bass amp. Brendan, I'm wondering like sort of what's going on. Like, are you thinking that you want to start getting into a bass amp, or you've never used it, or what like?
I've never used it before, so I was curious about your thoughts about it, or people here, about using a bass amp. But thank you, it really helps me. But I'm not yet figuring out if I'm really going to get a bass amp yet.
Yeah,
But maybe in the future, near future. I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah, and
found the model of the one that I'm using an acoustic B100C, like a very
yep,
and I like it because I can sit on it. It's also my chair.
yeah,
So like if I'm playing under a canopy or something, it's very helpful for that too. But you gotta understand that it's going to change your sound and the way you're going to approach music too. So like if it's like in an opera house, operas don't use microphones for a reason because they want the natural resonance to be. Well, it's the same thing. A lot of like environments, they don't like the sound of a bass amp. So you got to pick and choose. But it's been an invaluable tool for me, and I would definitely not want to do it without one.
yeah. I think I had one of
Uh,
those. Who else? Who was saying something?
what I was going to say, what appeals to me is that you're in control of your own sound and not the guy behind the buttons. It's really near you. That really helps setting my mind up.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like what Brandon has, like all you need is a single 12-inch speaker and about 100 watts. Like the Fender Rumble 100 is a great one and it's super light. The one that Camden said, the acoustic B100 is a great one and super light. The Mark Bass 12-inch one is like more expensive but super great. Yeah, a 12-inch speaker and like 75 to 100 watts of power is really all you need for most situations, because really like anything bigger than that, and it's like one, you don't want to carry it with the tuba. Two, a lot, and then and it also just trains you to like when you're in these bigger clubs, and they have a bass amp provided, then you know what you're doing. You know, like if you don't know what you're doing with the bass amp, it's hard to just walk into a club and be like, "Cool, I'm gonna plug in and do da 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 da," and it starts feeding back, and you're like, whereas like, if you just get comfortable with using the small amp that's just kind of like supplementing your acoustic sound, then when you like play that huge jam band festival and they have the refrigerator Ampeg stack, you know kind of generally what you're doing with the knobs and all that kind of stuff. Cool. Very cool. Cool questions today. All right, well, this is great. I think we're gonna wrap up Tuba Bass Tuesday. Thank you everybody for coming out. This was a really fun one. Uh, Tuba Bass Tuesday is sponsored by the Tuba Bass Studio. If you want to become a tuba bass player and master any style by ear, if you want to be able to say yes to gigs without needing charts, if you want to build real world musical fluency with weekly guided live sessions and get unstuck fast by asking questions, let us know. Visit tubabase.com/studio if you want more information, if you're ready to apply. We would love to work with you. Everybody here is pretty cool, so I'm kind of down to talk to anybody about it. Yeah, we're gonna hang out for a little more. Feel free to ask any more questions. We got a couple more minutes, but yeah, thanks everybody for coming out.
I have a very selfish question.
Yeah, what's up?
Um, I've been on leave from work the past like few weeks, and that's the only reason I've been able to join these sessions. Would you all ever consider like doing alternate times outside of like normal working? Like I know you all are likely gigging and stuff in the evening and all that, but
Oh yeah, I mean we do. Well, the Tuba Bass Tuesday at 2 p.m. is kind of what we're doing, for this. But the studio sessions right now we're doing Sunday afternoons. It's Sunday afternoons 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. It's Wednesday nights 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what time zone you're in, but so yeah, those are like when our class times are. So if that works for you, that's when we do the studio sessions. If that interests you. Um, and yeah, I think we might do one of these at night, but I think for now I think we're just kind of rocking the afternoon sessions for a bit. But also we record these things and upload them, so feel free to check them out on the replays whenever.
Yeah, we also really encourage people who are at work, if you just want to like show up, camera off, listen if you're working, I don't know what type of job you have.
yeah,
Um,
I'm
but
a
if
nerd.
it,
I can't do that.
nope,
Yeah.
never mind. But yeah, we always like to encourage people, like you don't have to participate at all. You can come with your camera off, muted, participate in the comments if you want to. But yeah, so that's why we do it in the daytime too.
Cool.
So, could you tell me what's the best way for me to remember how to finger the tuba?
What do you mean?
Besides just
Chris
studying
coming in
fingering
hot.
charts, is that kind of how you do it? I played in junior high school and high school. I played concertos and sight read music, but when I got back into it after a 45-year vacation, I started doing the music system. And I don't want to go back to reading music or teach myself how to read music all over again.
Hmm.
But it seems to be that's probably what I'm stuck with is learning how to refinger the. It's not coming back
So you're
automatically.
so
What I practice on the piano on the keyboards. If I can visualize it on the keyboard, I think I can transpose it to the tuba.
So you're
Playing
saying you're
by
having a hard time just remembering the fingerings of the note?
right, yeah,
Honestly, bro, I would just practice the chromatic scale. Just literally go up and down the chromatic scale and tell yourself the note names as you're doing it. And just
yeah.
kind of shed that. Just be like B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E, F, and then just go up and down. Just keep doing that. And just that's really kind of like, if it's literally just like, I can't remember the fingerings for the, like, you understand the patterns, right? That like
Right.
da 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 da, like that thing.
Well, that sort of comes back naturally, but no.
Yeah. So on that I would start with that then. Like if you're playing, let's say you start on an F, right? Let me. Yeah, let's say you start on an F. Do that pattern just up and down, just knowing that it goes chromatically da 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 da, and just do that up and down until like you can really hear that, like, oh, I'm going down chromatically and I'm going up chromatically.
And
And then just take
you're telling yourself the note in the head.
yep,
All
yep, and
right.
just tell yourself a note in the head, and then do it on B flat. Do that, and so that you're kind of getting the fingers up and down, and tell yourself the notes in your head, and then like start on a random note and go up to another random note, and just keep counting them in your head, and just move chromatically and do that, and you'll get it ironed out in a couple weeks for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, man, totally. Yeah, man, thanks for coming out.
I kind of have an equipment question.
Yeah, what's up?
Um, I only thought about it because I literally just got paid like 20 minutes ago, and now I can afford a mouthpiece.
Yes, spend it immediately.
Celebrated with some catfish bites.
Hey,
Our local. They're lemon pepper. I'll eat them later. But what's your recommended mouthpiece? Because
Helleberg.
Helleberg.
Helleberg, do you have one yet?
Yeah, my school has one that I'm using. I'm looking for kind of like an all around. I can use it for tuba bass, but also my concert settings. Do you have anything that could like match all of that?
Is it not working for your concert settings right now? Like what doesn't work about the Helleberg right now?
The Helleberg is awesome. I'm just looking for something bigger.
Hmm. What you want, like deeper tone?
Yeah, because I also this is like it used for everything: marching band, pep band, concert band, jazz band, um, church brass ensemble,
Yeah, I
um,
mean,
quintets.
honestly, like bigger, bigger than the Helleberg is fairly big, especially if you have like not the 7B Helleberg, but the 120S Helleberg, like the real Helleberg. Um, Bigger than that, like I mean, I haven't really gone much bigger than the hell. I've played a Parentucci PT88, which was rounder, but I didn't feel like I could do everything I needed to do on it. Like for me, the Helleberg was where I used to play the PT88 for my low round sound, and then I would play like a Bach 24AW for a little bit more bite, and eventually I just settled on the Helleberg because I felt like it could do both. Yeah.
All right, because I love my Helleberg. It's awesome, but I recently had a lesson with a professional tuba player. He's pretty awesome. Dr. Thomas Boo.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty cool guy. And he let me borrow his, because he's a Dennis Wick tuba artist.
Mm-hmm.
He let me borrow one of his mouthpieces, and he said, this one will, he told me that one will work pretty well because I was working on my audition pieces for District Honor Band
Mm-hmm.
and State Honor Band. He said, because it has a more open throat in the back of the cup, he said that would work better for me. Or like I want to go down the Parentucci route because it's a little cheaper. He said those are really good if I'm gonna get that either like a 44 or a 48.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I don't know, Mike. You got any opinions on mouthpieces or anything? I honestly, I'm not a gear nut. I find the thing I like and I stick with it. I don't really like straight up practice. Like if you want to sound better and you want to be able to do stuff, practicing is the way. Like experimenting with mouthpieces is cool, but like once you find something that like kind of works, it really is just about making it work for you through practice. Like don't get yourself down the rabbit hole of trying to like switch mouthpieces all the time. It's just like you're gonna spend a ton of money, and and I don't know. That's just my opinion. Haters gonna hate, but I think that the like what mouthpiece is good for this is kind of a game with diminishing returns after a while. When you really just find something that kind of works, and then practice your ass off.
all right.
All right, man. Cool. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Take it easy.
Peace
Peace.
out.
See ya.